Bitswap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, Bitswap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. Bitswap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Welcome to Rice TVX. Joining me on today's episode of the Rice Crypto Show are fellow content creators JChains and Bryan from Meta Money. I invited them on the show to learn more about their channel and to have a conversation about all things Metaverse. Before we get into it, visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You will also find my various social media links and more. You can also find Rice TVX on Odyssey and Library, where I have a full catalog of my videos, post up extra content, and share other appearances. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. To support Rice TVX directly, you can contribute or send tips to PayPal, to Cash App, or cryptocurrencies via my Cointree link in the video description. Everything is appreciated. Another way to support what I do is by joining my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more. I will include links in the video description for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything shared on today's video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on today's episode of the Rice Crypto Show are the guys who run Meta Money, formerly known as New Money Gang. I am joined by JChains and Bryan. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you doing?
Awesome, man. Thanks for having us. Really appreciate you inviting us, and we're excited to chat with you.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Bryan. Sorry.
No, I said, yeah, thanks for having us. Always love talking to you and enjoy your perspective on life and this whole industry. So
I appreciate. And if JChains' mom happens to watch this, I appreciate your compliments on the background and what you said about my appearances on Around the Blockchain. So thank you so much, Mama Chains.
Absolutely.
All right,
she will
man.
definitely watch this.
Cool. I'm definitely looking forward to maybe her commenting and everything like that and sharing some information. But I do want to let everybody know that everything that we talk about today, I'm going to be having linked in the video description. And if you're not already subscribed to Meta Money on YouTube, make sure you guys go over there and subscribe. And I guess the first question I want to ask you too is what exactly is Meta Money about? And if you want to kind of combine that in with, you guys started out as New Money Gang with the channel and rebrand it, which is something I did in 2020 from Rice Crypto to Rice TVX. And it's definitely a smart move. But do you mind kind of explaining to people who may not know much about the channel what you guys are about?
Yeah, absolutely. Bryan, you want to start us off on that, and then I can maybe give more of that backstory?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Meta Money is all focused on the metaverse. I'll let you explain the background, but basically New Money Gang was more of a broad subject. Meta Money is everything related to the metaverse, Web3. And we really, right now, it's a lot of crypto focus, play to earn, all that kind of stuff. But we want to dive in deeper to like, how is the metaverse going to change like our culture and our society? And, you know, how is it going to affect health? How is it going to affect education? How is it going to, affect finance and work and all these different things? And there's a lot of good, and there's also a lot of bad. I mean, like, are people going to be like, we were talking the other day, just laughing, like child labor. That's not something to laugh about. But what if your parents are like making kids play these games that earn them money, and then they don't even tell them? And it's like, what kind of world are we going into now? And what kind of new regulations are there going to be? And another one that we looked up, like there's like young kids entering strip clubs in the metaverse, and the internet is already a crazy place, and you can find a lot of stuff on there, and that's one thing. But the metaverse is even a deeper level of that, so it's going to have a crazy dramatic effect on how we live as a human race and how we're kind of connected to the whole world now, because it's borderless in the metaverse, I mean, there's no different countries. There's not, everything becomes one in a sense. So we really want to dive in and kind of take an unbiased. We're not only bullish on the metaverse. Like, we think there's going to be negatives as well, and we want to discover all those things. So that's kind of what we're getting into here.
Absolutely.
Cool,
And with the show Meta Money, obviously we're SEO keyword rich, right? Meta with Facebook rebranding to Meta for their metaverse. It is, the first half of the word, and then money. Obviously, everything that we do focuses about making money. How, if you take a project review, we'll usually talk about the ecosystem, some of the tokenomics, but really like how can you make some money with it. So that's really always been like the focus, and that was like the focus with New Money Gang. To take that step back, New Money Gang was really, it was showing people that there are non-traditional ways for you to earn a living, whether it's a side hustle, a side job, whatever, or something that completely fulfills your financial obligations. So New Money Gang started out with that intention, is like, how many ways can we show you that you can make money using the internet or just using non-traditional ways? And then, as time went on and as things morphed and evolved, really finding out that SEO, back to that SEO, when you use the word gang, we don't really think it's a negative connotation, but SEO does. And so we had to find something that worked better for that and for our niche, and especially as we really focused down, boiled the ocean, if you will, into what our focus was going to be, and that ended up being the metaverse. And so it all just morphed from that into where we are now. Very excited about it too.
No, go ahead, man. Sorry.
And I was just saying, at the end of the day, the metaverse and Web 3.0 and all this is the newest money that you can get. So, that's what we're just going to focus on going forward.
Yeah, and New Money Gang lives on. It will continue to live on. It's the name of our business. So, like, if we, for instance, we have a Gala node, a founders node through Gala, that runs through our company. So a lot of the stuff that we do for our business runs through New Money Gang because it's an LLC, all that. But the YouTube show, the social media, all that stuff that's following what we're doing right now, that we're super focused on with the Meta Money, and that's the importance of that.
Okay, cool. And if people want to be able to follow all your socials, I'll definitely have this link tree that I'm sharing as well, which will have more than what I'm going to be screen sharing and such. Before we started recording, you had mentioned the whole thing with SEO and gang, and when you were talking about that, I was thinking, like, between the hip hop culture and what's happened with that word being utilized so much, that maybe it would have been a little bit more desensitized to where it wouldn't have had the connotation that it used to have. But I get what you're saying. And on the flip side, I'll be making an announcement in a couple of weeks. We're recording this on Thursday the 3rd. I'm going to be releasing it this coming Monday, this particular interview. But I'm going to be making an announcement about partnering up with a couple different content creators to create a new channel. And we are going to be incorporating Meta in the name, but we're also going to be utilizing Metaverse as well. We're going to be doing like a kind of like a meet and greet before and after our live streams in the Metaverse, and then have a live stream of the Metaverse. It's actually somebody who, because this was something similar to because there's a lot of interconnections here that we're going to get into. So originally, me, Ken Bozak, who used to do a show called Last Week in Crypto, we revamped that and had TJ from this channel called Young Dumb Crypto come, and that's where I'm saying the connections are going to come in. So, and then there's a guy named Jerome that was running the VR element, and he's going to be helping us out with that. So that was going to be the next thing I was going to bring up. Originally, when I met JChains, he was working with Bitboy with Beards and Bitcoin. I keep wanting to say Bitcoin and Beards, but Beards and Bitcoin. With Ben Armstrong. And then Brian Emery was doing Young Dumb Crypto with TJ. It was around the end of 2019, I think, that we were doing this rehash cast, me, Ken, and TJ and Jerome. And he was talking about selling his house. I guess in early 2020, he ended up selling the house, talking to Ben, moving out to the Atlanta area, partnering up, Hit Network, Bitboy Studios. And then you guys technically didn't have anything going on. But obviously, individually, JChains, you're connected with Ben, and Brian, you're connected with TJ. So they between something happened. How did you guys decide to form a channel and work together? I'm curious about that.
Yeah. So when it was New Money Gang, it was started with Ben, myself, and then we had a female co-host, Leanne. Things started out one direction, and as we kind of got into it, we really noticed that, well, there's a really good opportunity in some other segments of the crypto space. So let's kind of pivot into what we were looking at. So at that point, I was focusing more on like the side hustle aspect of New Money Gang. And then it was like, all right, let's make this change. Like, as a company culture, like we really thought, oh my gosh, like Metaverse, that's the future. Like there is, like this is a brand new thing. It's like the new buzzword. Everyone's starting to talk about it, and like let's just jump ahead on that. And so Brian, he's no stranger to content creation as well. Really interested in the blockchain gaming, play to earn stuff. And so we had a couple conversations, and I think it was like almost a no brainer because we had known each other as well. I knew TJ and Brian from Young Dumb Crypto when Ben and I were doing Beers and Bitcoin. So it was just like almost like two old friends getting back together.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's definitely a lot that went into it, though. I don't know how far back you want to go. But I mean, basically, the whole thing with Young Dumb Crypto was an interesting turn of events. And the whole reason we even started Young Dumb Crypto was really to force ourselves into the crypto space, interact with everyone in the crypto space as far as the media, and then go to events. So it was like, that was our way to sneak into events. Like, I mean, obviously we wanted to create content, but man, when you have a channel, it's like we were able to get into events that we weren't able even to afford at the time. To think of not even being able to afford, like, I don't know how much the World CryptoCon ticket was, $1,800 or something. Like, I was living in my van, traveling around the country for a year. Like, I'm taking a year off. And
Damn,
6 months of that was spent in California growing Young Dumb Crypto. So it was just this weird thing. And then a lot has happened since then, a lot of personal stuff with myself and TJ as well, that really, but we stayed so connected in the space where I went to Florida. I had to close down businesses that I had there and really decide to come out here. And when I came out here, person I really clicked with was Justin and everything that we're doing with New Money Gang. And it was just like a perfect fit, like we both close friends, but TJ and Ben are also, close friends and very busy. So it's like we have a core group here. It's like, hey, let's just get together and do something and create something great.
And the synergy hit right away. I mean, we had known each other again for years, but definitely the synergy that we had right away was it almost felt like a great match. And so we took advantage of that, and I'm having so much fun. I don't know about you. I don't think you like me too much, but we're having fun.
Well, I mean, I watched some of the New Money content, the New Money Gang, and I really like the idea of the side hustles and the financial freedom and what you guys were doing. And I really like the chemistry between you two. So it's, but I really wanted to kind of get that backstory just because we've all known each other for 4+ years, depending on, the individual relationship. But on average, all of us have known each other for about 4 years. And, with that being said, I was just curious because building this team up, what's happened with, because I mean, here's the thing, I love Ben and I love everything he's doing. I appreciate all the support, but I know that Bitboy crypto would not be where it's at if it wasn't for the entire team behind Ben as well. I don't feel like if Ben was doing this by himself, like I am right now with 25,000 subscribers, I don't think he would be where he's at right now. So, it's great to see that you guys are all working together. And I don't obviously mean that in any negative way.
No, I don't think anybody would take it that way. It's like that cliche saying, it takes a village. I mean, obviously, Brian and I, we've got about 50,000 subscribers. We're just under that on our channel. At this point, we are developing our team. Yes. Like once you get to a certain level, like you need a team. Like that's just how it all runs because there's just so much that goes into it. Now everybody wants, like, I think that's like the number one job that people want right now. Like if you ask like the survey for kids, like the number one job people want to be is an influencer. They want to be a YouTuber, a content creator, but like, it's not just making videos. Like It's a lot harder.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And I'm actually at that point now where I'm starting to bring on a small team, and so I can improve what I'm doing so that I can allow for myself to be, because I mean I'm doing everything by myself right now. And there's some areas that are starting to suffer now because of it, because I have to focus on other areas. And at the same time, after doing this for about 4 years, I've figured out how to make sure I'm taking care of my mental health and not getting burned out and breaking down and just wanting to run away.
Yeah, that's so important, especially in the crypto industry too. I mean, because with like the high volatility, it's like one day you're a millionaire and the next day you got like 100 grand. You're like, yeah, man, is this what I want to be doing? Is this what I want to be doing?
Well, in my particular position, I'll be 47 in like less than 60 days. And so I figure I'm like at the peak or the down end trope. And I grew up, I wouldn't say like dirt poor, but I didn't have a lot of money. So now that I've got a little bit of money, I know that I can make what I have last if it's all I'm ever going to get. But I definitely try to focus on the business aspect. But there's obviously a little bit bigger of a mission of what I'm trying to do here with the channel too. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why it's important to make sure like you like what you're doing as well. It has to really match. But yeah, to the point earlier, I mean, picking good people to be a part of your team is also a skill and also very important as well. So, you know, for like what you said about Ben, and like they had to pick people that are really going to help push them to the next level. And the same thing I'm sure you're dealing with too, is like trying to find those people that really add value to what you're doing and you know, really push you so you could focus on your high level things that you need to get done. You know, your ideas that you have can come to life, you know, with the support that you get.
yeah, exactly. You know, yeah, because when you're being pulled in all these different directions and you can't focus on all of them, then yeah, obviously some things get left behind that you could be focusing on.
Yeah, and like your creativity probably is one of the biggest things that suffers because you know, like once for me, and that's where I find like my biggest kind of like conundrum with all of this is like when you get so busy or when you like you've got all these balls in the air and the wheels are motion, it's just like once you get stripped of your creativity and that freedom, then everything suffers. So like getting everything back on track so that you can do and this is like what you do so that you can do what you do and let other people take care of some of the other like minutia, if that's the right term.
No, yeah, it definitely is. Now with Meta Money, are you guys also have a show featured on Bitboy Crypto's channel, correct?
Yep.
Is that like a regular scheduled kind of thing that comes out, you know, so you can say, so when exactly do your guys' videos come out on the Bitboy channel?
So they come out 11 a.m. Eastern on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll probably do that for the next several months. I mean, we're always evolving, finding what works, what doesn't work. You know, like once it runs stagnant, maybe we'll do something different. But for now, it's really helping us, especially with the rebrand, especially with kind of the message that we're trying to get out. So it's very beneficial for us, and obviously, you know, we love Ben, we love the Bit Squad. So you know, having that outlet, just a huge set of eyes to see our content, it's very good.
Oh, no, I agree. That's why I was saying towards the beginning of our recording was, you know, I'm really appreciative of Ben having me on regularly, consistently on Around the Blockchain. Because, I mean, with my channel being so small and me dealing with a lot of censorship and shadow banning and being able to go and on a channel with 1.5 million subscribers is definitely a blessing. You know, so I'm appreciative, and I you know, I tell Ben quite often, you know, I appreciate what he does, not only for myself, but for others. I mean, even including you guys, like having, you know, not only is he supporting what you're doing, but featuring an episode on the channel as well, which highlights what you're doing, which pushes people to your channel, which ultimately just expands out what you're doing. And even with Ben, because I know you guys are a part of all of this as well, with giving away the cars to somebody, a parent that needs it, helping out these sports teams and donating money to like orphanages and things to that effect. You know, I find that very highly commendable. You know, I appreciate what you as a team are doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things, and those guys are just they're so fortunate, so blessed, and it's fun to watch them. Even as like big as they are, and as we are, still have some humility, and take that and give back to people that need it. I mean, we're all just so fortunate. We've been blessed to be on the front side of a life changing movement. That is crypto and blockchain, Web 3.0, all that stuff.
Right.
And I think that was one of the, going back to earlier, is one of the reasons I came here full time, is just being able to see the heart of everybody involved in this, and really what they care about, and like caring about other people. Is like, these are people that I can align myself with, that will push me to not only just make good content, but to be a better person, and to really just move my life in the right direction. And it's all about network. I mean, all of us have been friends forever. It's about growing together and using our resources to help each other grow, and that's just what it's been. And that's what we're doing on a content level, but also in like a personal development level as well. And it's long-term focus too. Like, we're giving away, like, we've made significant amounts of money, but like, now being able to give that away and really focus on how to build past this point of, like, I don't know how to really even say this, but like, when you have to give, you give, and
Right.
then that's just only going to bless you more. And that's how I've always lived my life. So
Yeah, no, it just becomes this pay it forward circle that just continually just keeps evolving, and people just get to benefit from it. And I think the more good that you do, it's kind of that law of attraction. What you think, what you say, and what you do, you attract back. So and I've definitely seen like a growth in all you guys, just looking from afar and watching how periodically you guys will, like JChains, you'll be hosting around the blockchain, watching your guys' new money gang content and meta money content, and just looking at some of the behind the scenes with the hit network, you can kind of get a little bit more of a grasp. But I wanted to ask you guys those questions about Young Dumb Crypto and Beards and Bitcoin, because a lot of people that are new to crypto don't necessarily know the backstory and don't know the connection. And knowing that you guys aren't just a bunch of guys who work together, it's more of a family, and I can see that.
Yeah,
It's cool to see. I'm kind of envious I'm not in the area, because like I'm over here by myself, and you guys have all the support from each other. But I'm definitely coming to visit.
Perfect, man. We look forward to that. Definitely. Look, we're gonna do a bunch of content when you get down here. That's for sure.
100%. Okay, so let's get into some metaverse stuff, because I know a lot of people are going to be interested in this. Now, I'm assuming that you guys have been exploring a lot of different opportunities in the crypto space when it comes to metaverse. But from my perspective right now, it seems like the most successful and most to offer you're going to find that's not crypto and blockchain related, like utilizing the Oculus and Horizon Worlds and alt space VR and things like that. What are your thoughts on non-crypto related, non-blockchain related metaverse projects? Or are you guys just focusing specifically on crypto and blockchain related ones?
we're definitely diving into all of them. However, to preface everything that's going to be said here, we are learning and diving into so many different things right now. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot that's going on in this metaverse space, and we're actually relatively new to it. So it's definitely been a learning curve. I've been really enjoying the play to earn aspect. We both got Oculuses, and we've been messing around in there, been playing super hot and going into VR chat, and just like really just figuring out what the stuff is going to look like. So we want to be mainstream as well. We plan on doing mainstream news on anything metaverse related whatsoever. So even new apps on the Oculus and stuff like that, we will probably be covering that. But the only places that you can actually make money are more on the decentralized ones, at least for now. The ones that are blockchain backed and play to earn and have crypto involved. So that's probably going to be more of the focus. But to grab the mainstream attention, we'll definitely be focusing on Oculus and other VR spaces as well.
Okay, cool. What are your personal favorite metaverse projects currently, and are there any particular like metaverses that you are impressed with? Because it's a lot of this seems to be like very 2D oriented. And then you put the Oculus on and you're like, wow, this is like two different things here.
A little more immersive.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, with Sandbox, we've got as a company, we got a pretty big partnership with them. And so Brian and I are actually going to get some of our land that our company owns to develop as a meeting space for us. I think we're going to have some meeting space within the Bitboy city development. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, we're actually
like to do virtual meetups and such.
Yeah, there's like a whole thing that has like NFT drops and all sorts of things that go along with it. It's gonna be super rad. A lot of this will be coming probably. Season 2, I think, starts like yesterday, right?
Tomorrow, I think. Or I was watching. I don't know, because today's Thursday. I was thinking it was either today or yesterday, because I generally watch the 12. I say 12 o'clock because it never starts at 11:30. But the Bitboy stream, I generally watch that. But watching it every day, Monday through Friday, it kind of starts to blend. So I'm not sure if it was yesterday or today, but by the time the video comes out, it would already have started 100% either way. So we're going to be good with that.
Yeah. I mean, so there's that one. And then there's like a couple that, whether we've invested in, we do project reviews for, or like, just yesterday we did an interview with the founders of Cornucopias. It's a metaverse with a play to earn mechanic. Definitely, I think a very ambitious project, but it's really cool the way that they have things lined up and designed. I mean, there's a couple smaller ones that one of our main goals is to find like the small projects where people can get in early. Cause like for instance, Gala, I know that's not really a metaverse, but that pumped and people didn't really have the opportunity. And if you're just finding out about it, to catch that,
Gala is going to be huge.
It's going to be huge, but like the big gain I think has already happened. Maybe.
Do you guys see Gala kind of expanding into like the meta area? Because I mean, there's a lot of NFT integration already. You're seeing in those elements.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be huge. They are gonna be a huge company.
Do you know if they're? I mean, because I know you guys have a little bit. You work with Gala, right?
No, we don't have any official sponsorship deals or anything with them, but we do know people like pretty high up there and stuff, and like we have a pretty, like we went to the Galaverse, so we're able to network there. But no, nothing. I don't know any secret leaks as far as that's concerned.
No, I'm just curious. I just figured,
but they are doing music, and they're also doing like TV as well. So they're trying to hit like all the major pillars, and they're basically using like what they've done really well is raise money. I mean, they've done a really good job, like
and spending it though too, because I've seen a lot of like the artists and celebrities that they've had, and I know those people aren't coming voluntarily.
Yeah, like they, their music platform that they just rolled out. They have a partnership with Snoop Dogg. He just bought Death Row Records. Now they're bringing, that Death Row Records stuff to their music platform through NFTs and stuff. So, and like Brian said, they're getting into film. It's gonna be Gala Film, and so they are going to be doing some high level stuff. What's another one? Victoria VR.
Victoria VR. We're doing a lot in that soon.
Yeah, a lot of, but again,
blockchain based.
Yes. Yeah. Again, a lot of these they're just concepts right now, right? You can
That's
buy
the problem.
Your land.
It's all too new.
You can't do anything with your land. You can just buy it. Things will be happening, but it's all for us about trying to find the small projects as they come out, as they develop, catch them early, and then kind of catch those gains and help people along the way, find that stuff as well.
Cool. Well, as far as developed platforms, which crypto blockchain metaverse related projects seem to be more developed and have something that's at least working?
Sandbox, but you can only go in Sandbox land right now. You can't go in other individual people's lands. Decentraland is working.
Decentraland is the only one I'm really familiar with.
Yeah. I mean, there's really not that many. Like, that's what's crazy about this. I mean, there's a lot of more mainstream ones. I mean, you got VR chat and everything, all the apps and meeting spaces on the Oculus, and then you have a lot of artificial ones too that aren't like true metaverses, and that's when like you get into it too, like when we start seeing like what actually the definition of a metaverse is, and like I feel like it's just evolving. Until we have interoperability between all these different worlds and spaces, like I think that's what the metaverse is once they can all kind of be connected. Like, because they're all different web projects right now. It's like you're all these little individual spaces, but the more that they connect is how we will actually see like the metaverse evolve. And it's almost impossible to be in all of them. Like, you have to be like, to become an expert at even one of these, you have to like really dive into the project, like especially play to earn and understanding the tokenomics and the mechanics and what's actually a good asset to buy and what's not. It's a learning curve, and you have to do a ton of research. I've been playing this stupid bomb crypto game on BSC, and it's interesting. I've learned a lot by doing it and just like buying NFT assets that have utility, and then how that's going to translate now into like a VR world is going to be insane. I don't think anyone's doing it well at all right now. No one.
Well, I think that's the thing, is that it's still just a concept for most.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of these games that say, "Oh, you know, come check out our metaverse," and it's just, I guess what I said, it's just a game. As they develop into something that may be a more of a true metaverse, but really it's a 2D game, or some of them are 3D, whatever. A lot of the voxel stuff, you know, it's, to me, we're not there quite yet. It's still kind of, we're still very early. So if you're watching this, you're early. Just start investing in some projects. Something will hit for you.
Well, one of the things too that's interesting is, you know, you got to think about how much information can be stored on a blockchain per block and how much space something like this takes. Because when we talk about decentralization and things like that, like a metaverse, for it to function a really good way, I'm not sure a decentralization would be beneficial.
There's going to be both.
Yeah, you're going to have to have, you know, some centralization involved, because otherwise, you know, you can't store all that data on all blockchains. Now, I'm sure there are some that can maintain it, but when it comes down to it, I mean, like you're even talking about now with like Bitcoin and other cryptos, layer 3, you know, like which is like application layers for Bitcoin, which would be, you know, interesting. But yeah, because that's one of the things that I was thinking about when Facebook made their change to Meta and this push for the metaverse, and how behind crypto is in that element. But I mean, crypto is still kind of a very new evolving thing anyways. But I guess the next thing I wanted to ask you guys was about the play to earn thing, because a lot of people do enjoy play to earn, being able to earn passive income and collect coins, sometimes take those coins and trade them for coins that they prefer to have. What are some of the projects that you like, not only like as far as earning potential, but playability when it comes to the metaverse?
Well, you said you're playing that bomb crypto right now.
Yeah, that's my
You said it was a stupid little game, is what you said.
Okay, well, no, but I do like it, and here's why. It's nostalgic. It's old school Bomberman. It's 2D. It's you couldn't even play it at first when it first came out. And that's why you have to kind of believe in these. You have to find teams you believe in before they come out. Because yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard, especially when they're like in the Philippines. No offense to the Philippines, but like I don't know anyone from there. There's not a reputable name in America or whatever, right? So like I don't know your status. I can look it up. I can kind of see it, but it's just different. And there's a lot less regulation in other countries as well. So then all these things that are unregulated, how do you trust them? And it's very hard. It's very, very, very hard. But at the end of the day, you just got to diversify and try to find something fun that you think will succeed. You're almost like a venture capitalist in play to earn right now because you're so early. It's not like the safe way is to see if these games develop, wait till they have their massive pumps and massive falls. And then if people are still playing the game and having fun after it drops all the way down, that's kind of how you know that it's going to go back up. And that's kind of my trick right now, because a lot of this stuff pumps and then it just dies down because people are selling all of their coins. You have to, it's interesting because play to earn, you have to create economies. And there's not a lot of, that's untested waters. And no one's really done a really good job of that yet. I mean, Axie did okay, but they also tanked over the long time as well. So it's interesting.
Well, Pretty much. I mean, most everything in the crypto market went down. Another good example of that is because I'm an advisor for Splinterland's governance tokens,
Okay.
but Splinterlands in general, they've seen a dip in the price. Their governance token was up to $1 now. I think it's kind of somewhere around the 15-cent price.
Yeah.
You also had VCs and a private sale that took place with allocations that were distributed over. I'm not sure what they call the distribution period, but where their vesting period, maybe it, but where the coins are distributed like within a 12 to 36 month period, depending. And a lot of those VCs were dumping what they were getting to get their money back, while some were still maintaining to hold. But the game itself is still growing. They just did a deal with Warner Music Group, and they put out a Waka Flocka flame themed card. It's called the Waka Spirit Blade or something like that.
Nice.
But yeah, they've got some really cool things coming up. But I would love to see Metaverse being brought into that. They do have land, but it's nothing you can do with the land.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. I think, one of the things that you had said a few minutes ago, or just a second ago, was, you're finding these projects or these play to earn games. They go out and raise a ton of money through the private sales, and then even people like us, we get involved in some private sales here and there. One of the last ones that we got into, it's like the vesting schedule was kind of crazy. They released the tokens for a certain number of people, and the token went down like 90%. And then we got our tokens. And so it's not, private sales are not all what people think that they are.
No. So you gotta play like 10 hands and hope that you get 2 good ones.
That, like I said, it's VC stuff. It's like you hope for that one unicorn that's going to make all the other ones worth it, because most of the times you're going to get wrecked on them.
And that's kind of what I was saying about it going way up and then down, is because what happens is there's tons of selling pressure from these early on investors, which, to be fair, these projects need the money to get going. But then the investors and the whales, they have no interest in the game. So they have no reason to hold it. So over time, they're going to sell it. Or if they own assets, NFTs that are making money in the game, they're going to be constantly selling. They're not reinvesting. They're recouping investments, and they're just taking gains and taking profits. So it's like, until you get, well, recently what happened on this game is it went all the way up from $1 to $8. We're talking about bomb crypto here. It's a really good example. All the way down to 20 cents. Up to $8, all the way down to 20 cents. And It's because what they did is they nerfed the game, and after you made a certain percentage ROI, you couldn't make as much as you were making anymore. So now all the whale accounts are like, well, let's move our money somewhere else. This game is not producing us more money, and they sold off everything. And so now the game went down to nothing. Well, that's when I got in. I got in at like 45 cents for most of my money. I got in at $3 just to learn the game, and I got in at 40 cents. Not the complete bottom, but really good price. Now what I think can happen is people can have a refresh system again, and a lot of that whale money is gone, and hopefully more users are going to come into the space. They did a good job at capturing a lot of users, and now we'll see what happens going on from here if the game succeeds or fails. I think that they'll do well. There's another example of a 2D game that's trying to incorporate Metaverse as well now, where they'll have interoperability, where you go into a portal and then you could play this mini game or play that mini game, and it kind of connects it together. So they're all transitioning, not all, but a lot of projects will, I think, go towards Meta, because that's just where we're going. It's the new internet, really, Web 3.0. So it's a fun process to watch, and trying to get in early, though, is not easy.
Well, like you were saying, though, when you're coming into something that's new, that's kind of an experimental phase, it's the wild west, just like crypto is, with not having full regulation in play. It's just the wild west.
For sure.
I definitely enjoyed the conversation. Before we wrap up, and I definitely want to have you guys back on, especially once we have some more metaverse projects that we could talk about and get in depth with. And maybe we could do some kind of collaboration between what I'm going to be announcing with this new channel that's going to be incorporating Meta as well. So before we wrap up, though, do you guys have anything that you want to add to the conversation? Any final thoughts?
It's just, one thing, and it's just about the metaverse. And I've been saying this, and I don't know if I'm exactly right with it. But I saw Raw Paul do an interview, and it was about the metaverse. And to me, it's a good way to misspell or at least telegraph to people that you might have a misconception about the metaverse. A lot of people are nervous about it. We've asked college people, hey, what do you know about the metaverse? They don't know anything. They don't know nothing about it. And you would think college kids a little more ahead of the curve would think about it. But he says, I mean, you're already living in the metaverse, right?
Some people say we're living in a matrix. So yeah,
I mean, you are, right? Like you're watching it, to anybody that's watching this interview right now. First of all, you're not in the same room with us. You're watching a re-representation of us. This has been recorded and this is being displayed. When you're on a FaceTime call, when you're on a Zoom time call, it's the same thing. When you're on a phone call, it's a re-representation. It's a digital re-representation of your voice. That's what the metaverse is. We're already living in it. It's not that scary. Now, obviously, things are going to grow. Things are going to get bigger, better, badder, some for the good, some for the worse. But we're already here. So let's build it together. Let's have a good time, and let's make it what it should be. I mean, obviously, some people say the internet screwed up. It wasn't built right. Well, we have the opportunity, at least us, all of us as creators in this space, working with companies, building out metaverse projects. Like our opinion matters, the community's opinion matters. So let's build it how we want it.
awesome. I love that. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I would just echo that. I would say the community is all what it's about. The friends that you make now in this space, like we talked about at the beginning, are the ones that you're going to make a lot of money with over the next few years, and that you're going to grow in the space together. So join a community, go to meetups, hopefully digital meetups. We plan to have those in the metaverse as well. So Rice, hope to have you around, and we'll be in these different spaces, and maybe even see a digital hologram of each other. I don't know, but let's do it, man. I'm excited, and the community is where it's at. And make sure you make friends with other people in the space. You're not just watching us talk to you in a sense, but really just connect with people on a deeper level. And hop in our Discord anytime, and we'll chat with you too. So
cool. And I'll have all that, like I said, linked down below as well. So I definitely encourage people to go over to Meta Money on YouTube and subscribe. I will include links for the link tree, which has all the social medias. You can also go to newmoneygang.com. And if you want to follow them on Twitter, it's @_metamoney_. It sucks when other people have your name and you have to end up doing stuff like that with your usernames.
It does.
But it's a cool name anyways. And it's been a great conversation. The one thing that I want to add personally is when it comes to metaverse, a few of the things that I think that need to be that people need to think about is when we talk about the dangers of the internet, it's different in a way with the metaverse, because you could have people looking very innocent with their avatars, and it's different than not seeing somebody, because I know like with the internet, you're dealing with like Facebook, you can have fake pictures and stuff like that, but it's like having candy and putting it in front of a kid in a way. It's like something that could attract them because of something in that avatar or something. So, and just like with crypto, blockchain technologies, I mean, it's a tool, and you're going to have dualities in it. Like we see the creation of CBDCs using closed distributed networks. So you're going to have dualities. And I think that the more emphasis that can be put on positive projects, and the more coders and builders that are building something that are more positive, I think would be great. Like even watching that movie, what was it called? It's about the NPC in the metaverse that comes alive, free something.
I haven't seen it.
It's got the guy who played Deadpool, and I can't remember his name either. Like I'm just drawing a blank on everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like free. It's like a name. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out, because what ended up happening with the metaverse was they decided they didn't want to be going around killing, and they just made it more of like a peaceful meeting place. So, it's cool when we can have those kind of dualities. I'm looking it up so I can say it's called Free Guy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Free Guy.
Yeah, the first time Justin went into the metaverse, he got beat up by a bunch of kids.
I didn't get beat up. Don't say that. I almost got cyber bullied, so I took my headset off.
But this is wild. This is a bank
Seriously.
teller. A bank teller realizes that he's a minor character inside of a massive video game, and he decides to take control of his own destiny. And it's some AI related thing that becomes sentient. It's pretty wild.
Check that out.
So yeah, that duality and making sure that people are building and pushing more positive metaverse related projects. And then the other thing is the danger that I find with metaverse is if somebody hates their life, instead of trying to change their life, they're going to escape. And I know they're already doing that with games and stuff like that now, but if we have a big push for these environments, I feel like some people will start having like not having as much value for reality versus the virtual reality. And I think that could be very unhealthy for people too. So that's just one of those dualities of things that could be negative, but there's so many other positive things that I can say about the use case of metaverses. I mean, the virtual meetups, being able to do education. It would be really cool if you have kids and then you have this universal translator, the Babelfish that Meta wants to create. And you've got a teacher being able to teach kids from different cultures, and they can communicate with each other and learn from each other.
Absolutely. I mean, could you imagine being, and I'll use these terms just because I don't have a more politically correct way to say it, but like you could be living in a dirt village, right? As long as you have an internet connection, you could get the same education as someone who is, living in Boston or Paris or wherever, places where the education systems are much, much better. And like you said, everything is just translated right there for you.
It's gonna be cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm definitely looking forward to our next conversation. If you guys can bear with me, I'm just gonna do the closing wrap up, stop recording. Ladies and gentlemen, again, links will be down below. Make sure you check out Meta Money on YouTube and all the other various social media links that are going to be in the video description. If this just happens to be your first time watching any of my videos, check out and explore my channel. Make sure you subscribed, and I will leave you with this. Be blessed, be the change, practice change.